and welcome to Monday's video. Now today we're going to be looking at building the Legion Glaive. Now we talked about this last week. We had a nice little let's have a look and see what it looks like, and today we actually get to start building it. Now what have we got in front of us? Well, I've already assembled the main hull of the vehicle because I wanted to get a head start on it because it's quite an involved model and I want you to be able to see the basics straight away. Now, plastic bane blade hull. We've seen this many a time on many of the other vehicles, from the shadow saw to the fell blade and also to the bane blade as well. And the nice thing about the Forge World kits, they tend to use existing GW kits and enhance from there. So what do we got? Well, we've got our resin front section that's been added in. This is the whole front with the front plate that goes just there. Now there's a tiny little bit of a gap there where it didn't quite fit perfectly well. That's nothing that we can't fix, and we'll do that a little bit later once we've got the main hull assembled and we can fill in our other gaps. So let's get started. What's next, I hear you say? Well, the next piece to go on is this section just here. Now this is the upper hull plate, this is the whole top. Now if we've done our work correctly, this should just slot in nicely, as it does, like so, into the gaps. Now there's going to be a little bit of give here and there, and there'll probably be a little bit of not fitting in too well, so we may have to adjust stuff as we go along. Now what I tend to find is these kits do work, you just have to apply a little bit of pressure here and there just to slot them in and work out where and what areas aren't working. So obviously we're having some problems there. Now that's probably led in by something that's a little further down the line, and we may have to crop and chop something in order for it to fit. So I'm going to go ahead and just clean up that section, and then I'll show you what it was afterwards. So I'll see you in a second, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. So basically what we had was an air bubble that was in the inside there, and that's done when you're casting up. Sometimes there'll just be an air bubble that gets caught in. Now sometimes they set these on a vibrate table which releases all the bubbles or all the trapped air up to the surface, but sometimes the odd one gets caught in the inside. Now I did have to clip away this bit here, but you know what, you're going to get that. It's resin, it's plastic, and you just have to make sure everything pops in nicely so it fits there like so. So everything's flush and ready to go. So what's next once we've glued that into place? Well, we have the back plate that slots into here and should slot over the top. Now this is always a little bit of a struggle because it doesn't always fit nicely, so we just have to adjust bits here and there. So look, we've got a tiny bit of a gap that you can see on that side, and if we spin it over, that's nice and flush on that side. So I'm going to clean that up. I'm going to glue this top section down. I'm going to clean this section up so it's nice and flush, and then we'll go from there. Guys, I'll see you in a second. Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, so what have we done? So we filled in the gap there, and the gap here as well. Now there's going to be a little bit of residue, but we can clean that off a little bit later once we're ready. Now for the filling, I used this, which is perfect plaster putty. Now I've used this quite a lot before. I really do like it. It saves on using loads and loads of green stuff. It's a decent, applicable, beautiful putty to use, and it just squeezes straight out of the tube. Now it's made by Deluxe Materials. It's worth giving it a go and trying it out and seeing what you think for yourself. Now if you've tried it, let me know in the comments below, but I've also had just good results from it, so I'm very, very happy about that. Okay, so the next steps for us is to add the side tracks. Now we've just got to let this dry properly, so I'll be back in a second when we'll set in the tracks. See you in a second, guys. Howdy guys, welcome back. Okay, so we've stuck our side panels on, we've added our tracks. Now we've added some other bits of detail as well, and you're going to go, oh, I wish I'd seen all that, but the nice thing about it is you haven't got to worry about that, because to be fair, this process is part of the most simplest process there is. So once you've got your tracks sorted out and you've got your side panels, I should say, put on, you can add your doors. Now we're holding off on putting these bits on yet because I want to work on the turret after we've shown you what we've been up to. So you have the plastic wheels that go in the inside. Now they're from the Bane Blade kit. Now they slot in nice and easily, but do remember to take away the lugs that are on there, and then you'll find they'll just slot into place, and it's a nice easy process. So follow it, it's there on the sheet. Now also when you're sticking your tracks on, make sure that you remember which is the left, which is your right. And I know it sounds stupid, but once you turn it over, it then becomes a little bit more complicated, and people tend to forget which is their left and which is their right, sort of thing. And it does happen because I've seen it happen, believe me. Now we've also gone ahead and added in our fuel tanks. We'd added in our conduit covers that go there. We've added in our exhaust pipes. We've added in the pipe that goes down the back that adds into, connects up into the hull and connects up the exhaust pipes. And we swing this round. Everything is almost ready. Now I haven't put in this section here, which is the cover yet, because I want to save that till a little bit later, just so I can paint up the bolters that go in the inside. And I haven't put the hatch in here yet because I'm thinking about maybe putting a guy in there. I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about it. But that's the basics of our main hull, and it's a really easy process to put together. Now the next step is adding in our turret, and we just need to make sure that we've got all the parts ready and clear, ready to go in there and add in, because it'll be a pain if they're not prepped properly, and we find that they don't stick together that well. So let's get on with the turret section, and I'll see you guys in a second. Howdy guys, and welcome back. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our barrel, we're going to just slot that in there. Now it comes with these primary weapon supports that should just slot in like so, and this is going to be really sort of difficult to get your fingers into, that just slot into there like so. So what I'm going to do is I can see that there, so I'm going to put that in there, and hopefully if I can just get a, let me do this, dab of glue off to the side. Now it's the hardest part is not getting glue where you don't want it, and I always find that it always manages to go into places where you don't want it. Okay, so hopefully that's stuck into place there. Just give it a little bit of a wiggle if you're a bit worried. As they say, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Then what we're going to do is I'm just going to take the other one, just going to add a bit of glue to it, and again I'm going to just drop it into play like so. I'm going to add a bit of steamy activator. Hopefully that'll be okay. It looks okay. It looks okay at the moment. We've just got to let that settle for a bit. And the next step, this is a really simple turret. I mean, they all are pretty simple, but in comparison to some of the other stuff, this is a very, very simple turret to put together. Now, that slots on there like so, and then that slots in there. Now, I'm not going to glue the cover in just yet because I want to be able to get in there, but what I'm going to do is just add some of my super glue. I'm just going to squeeze that in there like so. Nice and easy. That is, oh, you can see it trying to go off now. There you go. There you go, that stopped it from gluing. So I'm not going to put the cover on just yet because I want to be able to paint inside there, and that's how it will look once it's all glued in. Now I think I'm just going to sort of just set that there for a second just so you can see. I mean, that is beautiful. That is such a cool turret. You can imagine the painting side of this is going to be exceptionally cool to play around with. You can do so much with it. Okay, so I'm going to see you guys in a second. We'll start dressing it up and adding all the extra bits to it. Okay guys, so welcome back. So what's our next step? Well, our next step is to add our side sponsons on, but what we don't want to do is glue them in, because to be fair, we want to be able to paint them up separately, and we want to be able to get into all the other bits and pieces in it. So what we can do is add these side pieces in. But I've just sat the turret on there just for a second, and I mean, that is a beautiful piece of kit. Devastating beyond belief, and it's going to be so much more fun once that's all painted up, and it's going to look absolutely astonishing. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. So we've still got to add these sections in here. We've got to decide whether we want a guy poking his head out or we want the hatch down. Kind of, because there's not a turret, a section with a hatch on the top, it's kind of nice just to have maybe that hatch open. Well, we'll have a good think about that anyway, because that's something we can do a little bit later. But in the meantime, let's focus on finishing off these sections here, and then we can start building our side sponsons. Okay guys, see you in a second. Howdy guys, and welcome back. Okay, so what have we got here? Well, we have here our finished product. We've added in all our little bits of extras that we see. We've dressed it all up. It's looking spiffy. It's ready to be painted or undercoated, and I've got to say, it's a really lovely vehicle. Now, I do love the fell blades. The fell blades are something else, and the Legion vehicles are just absolutely astonishing. I've not seen this in action yet, but I know it's a bit of a bad boy. Now, we've done a turret as well. The turret has been finished. We have our elevation. We've not glued this bit in yet because obviously we want to paint underneath there. And I've assembled the las cannons. Now, there was no point me doing a little video section on the video about how to put these together, because it's so simple. Just make sure you've got your movements in there, and that the turrets can, the side sponsons can move and stuff like that, because it just gives it a little bit of extra fun when you're playing and stuff like that. Now, here's our bolter. We're not going to glue these bits in yet because we want to paint them up before we add them. So what's the next step? Well, the next step is to paint the entire thing, and we're going to be painting up as salamanders. Now, a lot of you have been asking me to do some more salamander stuff, so what perfect chance that we have right now as to paint this up, and I'm going to be seeing you in the next video for that. But the next step will be to spray this silver as our undercoat and work up from there. Okay guys, you be good, you be safe, and I'm going to see you in the next video where we paint this bad boy up. Take care.